What could possibly drive Kim Jong Kook to hide his wedding from the world, and why was his closest friend, Kwang Soo, nowhere to be seen on the biggest day of his life? Secrets, whispers, and unanswered questions swirl around this shocking revelation, leaving fans desperate for the truth. Red carpet revealed as we dive deep into the mystery, the hidden reason, and expose what really happened. Let's find out right now. What could possibly drive Kim Jong Kook, one of Korea's most eligible bachelors and a man whose love life has been the subject of speculation for decades, to hold a wedding in total secrecy? And what could explain the absence of his closest friend, Kwang Soo, the man who has walked beside him through laughter, tears, and unforgettable moments on Running Man? These questions lit a fire under fans across the globe when whispers of a private ceremony surfaced. The answers were not immediate, but the shockwaves they created continue to ripple through the entertainment industry. For years, Kim Jong Kook cultivated an image that was almost mythical, the Iron Man of K-pop. The soft-spoken romantic teased endlessly by castmates for his bachelorhood. The devoted son who always placed family first. And the entertainer who seemed married to the stage rather than to a woman. And then, in a twist no one saw coming, news broke that he had in fact tied the knot, and done so away from the flashing cameras, without the brother who had stood by his side for more than a decade. The story of Kim Jong Kook's secret wedding cannot be told without revisiting the legend of his bachelor persona. Since his turbo days in the 1990s, Kook was admired for his powerful vocals and his carefully cultivated image as both gentle and disciplined. In later years, through variety shows like X-Man and especially Running Man, single status became part of his brand. Entire segments revolved around teasing his relationship with Yoon Eun-hye or creating playful love lines with Song Ji-hyo. For viewers, it was inconceivable that Kim Jong Kook, forever the eligible bachelor, would actually walk down the aisle in real life. His refusal to settle down became an unspoken promise to fans. He was theirs, untethered, eternally available. Which is why the idea of him marrying in secret, even his closest circle present, hit like a thunderbolt. The first whispers began months before the alleged wedding took place. Fans noticed oddities in his schedule, appearances quietly cancelled, travel plans shifted without explanation. Long silences on social media from a man usually meticulous about connecting with his audience. On top of this, there were unexplained sightings, Jong Kook leaving a jeweler late at night. Jong Kook spotted in a quiet district of Seoul with someone by his side whose face was hidden beneath a mask. The rumor mill churned as fans pieced together clues. Blogs began posting theories about a mystery woman, while online communities dissected his every move with the zeal of detectives solving a crime. Theories ranged from long-time celebrity crushes to complete outsiders, with some insisting he had fallen for someone far removed from the spotlight. The more the rumors spread, the more Jong Kook's agency doubled down on silence. And yet, silence was the very thing that fanned the flames. Fans, starved of answers, grew more determined to uncover the truth. What they found, or thought they found, were fragments that seemed to confirm their suspicions. A ring glimpsed on his finger during a rehearsal. A wedding venue rumored to have been booked under a family name. A florist boasting of a large, private order. Each clue, however small, painted a picture that was increasingly difficult to deny. But the most shocking revelation was not that Jong Kook had secretly married. It was that Kwang Soo, his most loyal friend, was nowhere to be seen on the guest list. The bond between Kim Jong Kook and Kwang Soo has long been one of the pillars of Running Man. While the show's comedic premise rests on games, betrayals, and betrayals of betrayals, one thing has always been clear: beneath the gags lies genuine affection. Jong Kook, the protector, often stood up for the lanky, mischievous Kwang Soo. Kwang Soo, the trickster, often played pranks on Jong Kook but did so with a twinkle that spoke of brotherly love. Fans adored their dynamic, dubbing them the real odd couple of Korean variety. Their bond extended off-screen as well, with photos surfacing of family gatherings, late-night dinners, and vacations taken together. For this reason, Kwang Soo's absence from Jong Kook's wedding was not just surprising, it was unthinkable. Speculation exploded. Some suggested a falling out, citing vague moments on the show when tensions ran high. Others insisted the absence was deliberate, perhaps orchestrated by Jong Kook himself to preserve secrecy. Others spun conspiracies. Had Kwang Soo disapproved of the match? Had something happened behind the scenes that the public was never meant to know? The internet, already ablaze with rumors of the wedding, now had a second mystery to solve: the missing presence of the man closest to Jong Kook's heart. To understand why Jong Kook might have chosen secrecy, one must understand the brutal spotlight of Korean celebrity culture. Weddings are rarely private affairs, they are spectacles. Hijacked by paparazzi and overrun by fans desperate for a glimpse of their idols. For many stars, privacy becomes an impossible dream, particularly in moments meant to be personal. To hold a public wedding would have meant sacrificing intimacy for performance, turning vows into headlines and reducing one of life's most sacred moments to entertainment fodder. Jong Kook, ever the private man beneath his public persona, may have decided that this was one part of his life he would not offer up for consumption. Yet, even with this explanation, the question of Kwang Soo remains. Theories continue to spread like wildfire. Some argue that Kwang Soo was abroad filming at the time, unable to break his contract. Others speculated that his absence was Jong Kook's way of protecting him, knowing that Kwang Soo's towering frame and undeniable fame would make secrecy impossible. If he attended, the paparazzi would surely follow. The wedding would no longer be hidden. In this interpretation, his absence was not neglect but loyalty, a sacrifice made to protect the very secrecy Jong Kook desired. As days turned to weeks, from both men only deepened the mystery. Neither Jong Kook nor Kwang Soo offered explanations, choosing instead to let speculation rage unchecked. Fans oscillated between heartbreak and celebration. Some felt betrayed that Jong Kook, who had built a career on intimacy with viewers, would exclude them from such a milestone. Others rejoiced, insisting that after years of waiting, he had finally found happiness, even if it came at the cost of secrecy. Online communities fractured into factions, demanding answers, others begging for respect. Through it all, the legend of Kim Jong Kook only grew. The image of the eternal bachelor had finally cracked, revealing not weakness but humanity. For years he had carried the weight of expectation, fans teasing him to settle down, colleagues joking about his endless singlehood. Now, by marrying in secret, he had defied not just those expectations but the industry itself. He had chosen love over performance, intimacy over spectacle, and in doing so, reminded fans that beneath the muscles, beneath the music, beneath the laughter, he was a man who craved what all men crave: connection, partnership, family. As for Kwang Soo, his absence became a riddle with no solution. Every new theory only deepened the intrigue. Was it duty, distance, or something darker that kept him away? Was it a rift in their brotherhood, or an act of loyalty so deep that it required invisibility? Fans demanded answers, but answers were not forthcoming. Silence became part of the story, a void that spoke louder than any explanation could. And so, the world was left with two mysteries: why Kim Jong Kook chose secrecy, and why Kwang Soo chose absence. Truth, fans insisted, must be out there. And when it finally emerged, it would be more shocking than anyone could imagine. News of Kim Jong Kook's secret wedding first broke, the world gasped. But it was only when more details began to surface that the real storm erupted. For years, fans had imagined what his wedding would look like: a star-studded event filled with laughter from his Running Man family, felt speeches from fellow celebrities, and countless reporters clamoring to capture every second. Instead, what they discovered was something completely different: a wedding shrouded in secrecy, carefully hidden from the public eye, attended by only a handful of the closest family members. There were no cameras, no press releases, glittering red carpets. There was only Kim Jong Kook, the woman he had chosen to spend his life with, and the promise they whispered to each other in front of those who mattered most. The venue was said to be a quiet, elegant hall on the outskirts of Seoul, a place known for its discretion. Staff reportedly signed confidentiality agreements, and guests were asked to leave their phones outside to ensure nothing leaked to the press. Flowers were brought in under the cover of night. Even the catering was disguised as an unrelated event. For someone as famous as Kim Jong Kook, secrecy was not just a preference, it was a necessity. He had lived his entire adult life in front of cameras. This one day, he wanted to belong only to himself and his bride. The biggest mystery, of course, was the identity of the bride. Some whispered that she was a non-celebrity. Kim Jong Kook had quietly dated for years away from the public gaze. Others speculated that she was someone from the industry, an actress or singer whose name had been linked to him in the past. A few even insisted it was a face fans already knew, hidden in plain sight all along. What became clear, however, that Jong Kook had gone to extraordinary lengths to protect her. By keeping the ceremony small and private, shielded her from the relentless scrutiny that would have followed had her name been revealed too soon. For Jong Kook, love was not a performance. Something sacred. Something worth protecting at all costs. But while fans debated the identity of the bride, the question of Lee Kwang Soo's absence grew louder and more persistent. Why had the man who had been by Jong Kook's side for more than a decade not attended? Rumors swirled wildly. Some tabloids claimed there had been a falling out, pointing to moments on Running Man where jokes seemed to cut deeper than usual. Others suggested Kwang Soo had been out of the country filming a drama, unable to break his schedule for a last-minute wedding. Others whispered that his absence had been Jong Kook's decision, a way to keep even his closest friend away in order to preserve the secrecy of the day. Insiders offered their own theories. One staff member from Running Man suggested that Kwang Soo had been invited but declined at Jong Kook's request. He knew if Kwang Soo appeared, press would find out immediately, the insider said. Their bond is too well known. People would have followed him, and the secret would have been blown. Interpretation. Kwang Soo's absence was not betrayal but sacrifice, a painful choice made out of loyalty to his brother. By staying away, he allowed Jong Kook the privacy he so desperately wanted. Went to a more personal reason. Around the time of the alleged wedding, Lee Kwang Soo was rumored to be struggling with an injury sustained during filming. Fans speculated that travel or long events may not have been possible for him. If true, his absence would have been born not of conflict but of circumstance, a sad twist of fate that kept him from one of the most important days of his friend's life. Whatever the reason, the absence became a story of its own. Social media filled with questions, memes, and heartfelt messages. Why wasn't Kwang Soo there? Became as popular a question as who is the bride, on YouTube. Analysis videos racked up millions of views as fans tried to piece together the puzzle. Every old clip of Jong Kook and Kwang Soo together was rewatched. Interview re-examined for hidden clues. Some fans even claimed to see sadness in Kwang Soo's eyes during his next public appearance, interpreting it as regret for missing the wedding. While reactions to the wedding itself were deeply divided, some fans felt betrayed that Jong Kook had kept such a monumental life event hidden. We supported him for decades. One fan wrote online. Couldn't even share this joy with us. Others defended him passionately, pointing out that celebrities are entitled to private lives, and that the secrecy only proved how much he valued protecting his loved ones. International fans were largely supportive, praising Jong Kook for finally finding happiness after years of living up to the forever bachelor image. Hashtags like "Congratulations Kim Jong Kook" and "Respect his privacy" trended alongside angrier ones like "Why hide from fans?" The industry, too, reeled from the revelation. Brands that had built campaigns around Jong Kook's single image scrambled to adjust their marketing. Producers of Running Man debated how to address the news on the show, finally choosing silence to avoid overshadowing the program itself. Fellow celebrities who knew about the wedding offered quiet congratulations, careful not to draw too much attention. Others were more vocal, praising Jong Kook's courage and expressing joy for his new chapter. Industry obsessed with image. The event was a wake-up call. Sometimes even the most public figure choose privacy, and the world must learn to accept it. Of Jong Kook himself, in the weeks that followed, he maintained his silence, offering neither confirmation nor denial. He turned to work as usual, his trademark smile intact, his discipline unshaken. But fans noticed something different in his demeanor. He seemed lighter, more at peace. A weight had been lifted from his shoulders. Perhaps the secrecy had given him exactly what he needed, the ability to start his married life not as a spectacle, but as a man in love. The unanswered question of Lee Kwang Soo lingered, however. No official explanation was ever given. Fans began to settle into their own interpretations. Some chose to believe in the narrative of sacrifice, that Kwang Soo had stayed away to protect the secrecy of the day. Others leaned towards circumstance, that filming schedules or health issues had made attendance impossible. And still others, unwilling to let go of the drama, to the idea of a hidden conflict. But in the end, the truth mattered less than the bond itself. Jong Kook and Kwang Soo. Their brotherhood had been proven countless times over the years. Whether present at the wedding or not, friendship remained unshaken in the hearts of fans. As the dust began to settle, one thing became clear: Kim Jong-kook's secret wedding was not a scandal but a revelation. It revealed the lengths a man would go to protect the one he loved. It revealed the sacrifices even the closest friends might make in the name of loyalty. And it revealed, most of all, that even legends of the entertainment world are human beings who long for intimacy, privacy, and peace. The reason behind Kim Jong-kook's secret wedding was not shame, nor deception, but love. Love so precious it could not be shared with the world until the right moment. And the reason for Lee Kwang Soo's absence may never be fully known. Perhaps that, too, is part of this story. Some truths are meant to remain between friends, guarded in silence, honored in absence. Fans, the revelation was shocking. For the industry, it was disruptive. But for Kim Jong-kook, it was simply life lived on his own terms. Finally free from the weight of expectation. He moves forward into this new chapter. The world watches not with judgment, but with awe. The Iron Man of K-pop has proven that even the strongest hearts yearn for love. And as for Lee Kwang Soo, since will forever remain part of the mystery. A question mark in an otherwise joyous tale. Perhaps that is fitting. After all, what is a secret wedding without at least one secret left unsolved? 6 years of speculation, hidden ceremony, and a lifetime of love to come. The shocking reveal the world never saw coming, and the truth behind Kim Jong-kook's secret wedding will echo for years to come. Thank you for joining us in uncovering the whispers, the mysteries, and the revelations. Stay tuned. In the dazzling, unpredictable world of Korean entertainment, today's shocking reveal is only the beginning. Until next time, this has been Red Carpet Revealed.